And welcome back. In this next segment, we will focus on the actions of Big Brother. New ID system causes week of outage for background check system. Last weekend, the FBI implemented the next generation identification system, a $1.2 billion biometric system that recognizes facial features, scans irises, and reads palm and fingerprints to identify individuals, to replace the sole fingerprint system. The change has impacted a database within the NGI called the Interstate Identification Index. And you say, well, what's wrong with that? Don't you want the FBI to identify these bad boys and girls? Well, here's the issue with this. On 9 occasions this week, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System reported outages that delayed the completion of checks for customers shopping at a licensed gun dealer, which basically means to say, if you went into a gun shop this past weekend or over the past week, you may have encountered some static when you went to go through your background check system, and hey, you just found out that it wasn't working that day. The outage times range from several minutes to several hours, but if you needed to purchase a firearm during one of those outage times, you were just out of luck. Hopefully these are just temporary outages and the FBI can get these things sorted out sooner than later. Yahoo wants to scan user emails to figure out which apps to recommend. Then, in the same way that Pandora recommends songs based on the songs that users like to listen to most, Yahoo will recommend new apps for that Yahoo Mail user, which is to say they're reading your emails and they now admit it. This for everybody who says they're not reading your emails. That's just a conspiracy theory. Yahoo admits it. Google admits that you have no reasonable expectation of privacy. Verizon has gone a step further. They said, we're spying on you, but we'll give you free goodies if you don't make a big stink about it. So yes, they are tracking what you do. They are reading your emails and so forth. And you may say, a very popular answer, I don't have anything to hide. You may not be Scarface, but you can ask Kate Upton. I'm sure she never robbed a bank, but she had a few pictures that she didn't want to get out on the internet reportedly. Same thing with Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sure she wasn't moving more dope than Rick Ross, but she had a few images that she didn't want to get out there on the internet reportedly. So you have to be careful about these things, especially when you go online. Your phone, your computer, whatever else, smart TVs, you have to be very careful when you use these devices. And Steve Jobs knew this. And he said, because of all the things that go wrong with technology, I limit the amount of technology my kids can use at home. Steve Jobs to his kids, don't use iPads. A piece entitled Steve Jobs Was a Low-Tech Parent discusses how the late Apple CEO refused to allow his children to play with one of the company's most popular devices, the iPads. This is the story coming out of the New York Times. So your kids must love the iPad, the reporter asked Jobs. They haven't used it, he told the reporter. We limit how much technology our kids use at home. And it's not just the security aspects you have to be aware of. It's also people becoming so dependent on these technologies. And I'm sure you're like me, a lot of people are. You have a smartphone, and it's very convenient to do this or that on your phone or on your computer, but you try to limit your digital footprint, especially when it comes to confidential information, and also, kids being so enamored with these things. I've seen videos that you can watch on YouTube. The parents take away the iPad and the kid just freaks out. Or, this is a more forgivable offense, but it was notable. Video montages of kids on YouTube, and they get so used to scrolling on the iPad or the iPhone, they pick up a book or magazine and they're trying to scroll the pages of a magazine, but they find out it doesn't work like that. And those are, smaller children, but that's just an example of what could happen. And now we're talking about smaller children. So let's go real deep into what these small children are being taught. Schools to fingerprint students to monitor their diets. This is just more of the nanny state coming at you. The Express and Star reports students at Red Hill School in Stourbridge, England, will be fingerprinted in an attempt to reduce lunch lines and monitor pupils' diets. So there it is. It's for the good of the children. It's to monitor their diets. Now, let's contrast this. Okay, so you have the fingerprint scanner. And every time I go to the Texas DMV, or when I got my driver's license, you have to surrender your thumbprints here in the state of Texas, which I was not happy about at all, but that's what it was. But when I went to get my driver's license, they have the little scanner, much like you saw in that article, and they spray it down and they wipe it off. So they're saying that the thumbprint scanner is supposed to be faster to get the kids through the line. Well, if you have to do that for each individual going to get their driver's license, and you have hundreds of kids with sticky fingers, they're eating candy all day, how fast is it really going to go if you have to keep wiping this thing off? But they say it's for speed. And they also say it's to monitor their information. When I was in high school, they gave us ID cards and they'll carry around in your wallet. Now at that same school I go to, the kids are forced to wear the ID cards around their neck. Back in those days, you could put it in your wallet and your purse if you were a lady. But my question is the thumbprint scanner any faster than scanning an ID card? You take the little kind of like grocery store checkout thing and you just scan the card. But they're saying, you know, it's for the kids, it's all great, it's all gravy. But it just goes more into this biometric database that Big Brother wants you in, whether it's using your thumbprint to unlock a phone, whether you're going to a lunch line, or palm prints to access Bitcoin machines. And please understand, I'm not knocking Bitcoins. It's just when I first saw these Bitcoin machines and I noticed you had to put your palm print on it, I'm like, well, you know, Bitcoin is supposed to be anonymous. Isn't that the whole point? But now you have to surrender your biometric data to access these things. Once again, that's not anti-Bitcoin. I just don't like the way their ATM Bitcoin machines operate. But we'll end on a school note here. Vermont school bans brownies. The kids here like kale, and that's fine. I'm sure the kids do like kale, but don't tell them they can't eat brownies. Brownies and other chocolate treats are now officially banned by the state. Vermont Watchdog reports the state is now pushing fruit kebabs, kale, and gluten-free paleo lemon bars as school treats. The ban comes in an attempt to comply with new federal school lunch and snack regulations championed by First Lady Michelle Obama. And I'm sure Mrs. Obama is very proud of herself. Mrs. Obama, who has a private gardener and a private chef. Most people don't have those luxuries. And I get that you want to stop the childhood obesity epidemic, because I went to I believe my cousin was in 8th grade at the time. They had some type of talent show, and I was just, shocked at how, large the kids were. And I don't mean that to, down, people who are larger. They just look very unhealthy. And, I was concerned about this. But it's not, I don't think it's so much an issue of what they're eating. I think it's the sedentary lifestyle. Because I tell you, when I was in high school, myself and many of the other guys, we played sports and all that. We ate whatever we want as much as we wanted. We went out to the pizza buffet during lunch, our senior year, and we'd try to see who could eat the most. But we'd all burn it off because we worked out twice a day. So we were eating whatever we wanted. We just burned it all off. And I'm not saying you should do that, but that's how we did it back in the day. So you got Michelle Obama, Nanny Bloomberg telling you he doesn't want you to have large sodas. He doesn't want you to have aspirin. He doesn't want you to have a firearm, even though he has several armed bodyguards. Yeah, this is what they want, and don't give it to them. We've seen entire montages, people going on YouTube. Students even shot a music video decrying the practices of one Michelle Obama, saying the kids, they're hungry. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough food in their system to go out and play those sports. They're running on empty by the time track practice comes because, they got a celery stick and a pack of saltine crackers. That's not enough to get the job done, but nobody really cares. They have their own personal agendas. So it's about the students, but it's not really about the students, because we saw the place where they had the cameras inside the trash cans monitoring what the kids were throwing away, trying to count calories and so forth. It's completely ridiculous, and this is another reason why you may consider getting your children out of schools such as this and maybe try some other type of alternative. Well, that's it for this segment of the InfoWars Nightly News, but stay tuned. We'll have a special report from Leanne McAdoo with a very special piece of Kent State memorabilia, if you can even call it that. Stay tuned. This is the InfoWars Nightly News.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
Yeah, it has that processed flavor to it.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.